What up everyone, this is Richard here, showing you the updated version of my Gimmick Puppet deck for the April 2014 format. I tweaked it a little bit because I found cards that actually work a lot better. I found cards that really weren't working for me, and also the fact that Destroy doesn't come out till Primal Origins. I figured that this might be a better way of doing it. Let me just move my camera a little bit for you guys, stop the shaking. Alright, let's get on to the deck. Starting off with the 3 Jury Dolls, 2 Gimmick Puppet Gear Changer, 1 Humpty Dumpty, 2 Magnet Dolls, 3 Scissors, 2 Shadow Feeler, 1 Fortress, 1 Egghead. Pretty much remains the same up until we get to here. Instead of the 2 Destroy, we have the 2 Gear Spring Spirits. Gear Spring Spirit is a special summon effect. It allows you to get your rank 8s that aren't Gimmick Puppets out a lot easier, because most of your rank 8 plays are with Dreary Doll, and you're not going to be able to get cards like Felgrand or Helios out with it. So it's just a nice way to get more plays out. And it's just a nice free summon. And its effect is pretty good too, but you're not going to really use it that much. Then we have the Birdman, the 2 Effect Veilers, the 1 Dad, and the 1 Witch of the Black Rose, just like before. Moving on to the spells, we have 3 Junk Puppets, 2 Chaos Force rank up cards, 3 Trade-In, 2 MSTs. Now instead of Allure of Darkness, I have 1 Forbidden Lance. I switched out the Allure because, quite frankly, it wasn't working out very well. It was giving me draws that I always needed, and I ended up having to banish the 1 card that I drew that I needed. It was just basically a catch-22. I got cards I needed, but at the same time I had to banish something I needed, and the banish is really just something I don't want to do, and I don't really get into it that much. That's you have the trade-ins, and you have other draw powers. It just wasn't worth it at the time, and you don't have much protection from other cards. So it's just kind of nice to have that Lance in there. It'll stop other plays. Now moving on to, we have Foolish Burial and Dark Hole. As you know, Dark Hole is there because it is Dark Hole, and Foolish Burial is there for the graveyard effect. I tested Foolish Burial a lot. One thing that I actually noticed that you will do sometimes, for those of you who don't know, you can use it to send Fortress to the graveyard if you start out with your hand and have either Shadow Feeler or Gimmick Puppet Dreary Doll in hand. If you have Burial there, you can send Fortress to the graveyard and send both of these guys to the graveyard to special summon him from grave. You can discard these guys from hand just to special summon him. It'll get those 2 in the graveyard much easier, and you'll have a free 25 beater on the field. Moving on to the traps, I added 3 traps done, because like I said, there's not much protection for this deck, and this is basically the protection. I downgraded to 2 MSTs for it, and honestly, I can't remember what else I got rid of for it. I tested it a while ago, and I just cannot remember, so I apologize for that. But the 1 Solemn Warning and the 1 Torrential Tribute remains the same. Going to the side deck, we have Trap Eater as the substitute for Witch of the Black Rose for the Sinker Summoning of Beals. 1 Maxi stays the same. Spell Shattering Arrow stays the same. 1 Eradicator, 2 Deck Devi, and 2 Mind Crush. I switched this out with Breakthrough Skill, quite frankly, because Breakthrough Skill, I have the Effect Veilers, and I have Felgran. Mind Crush is basically good for the Boogene plays, because you're going to run into that deck more than anything at regionals anymore, along with Fire Fists. That tanky search for Yamato, Mind Crush the Yamato, or even Yamato's effect, Mind Crush whatever it searches, and they won't be able to get the Crane plays off of you. Overworked for Fire Fists, Light Imprisoning Mirrors for Boogenes and other things like that, and Imperial Iron Wall for decks that require a lot of banishing. Sorry about that, guys. And now moving on to the extra deck, we have 1... before I actually continue, I will say this. I made the extra deck out to what I have and what I could afford, because number 101 the Arcanite, it is $50. It's $50 I just don't have. So I rearranged this for ways that I can play around it until I can get that, along with Black Rose Dragon, because I just didn't have the $70 to drop for them. So we have one Geargiant for Search, one Heliopolis, one Felgrand, two Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder, I am sorry. I put in two of these. I originally tested out a Alcy, the Sylvan Exceed monster that can bounce cards back to the bottom or top of the deck. I didn't really go into it that much, and I learned that certain decks will stop the summon plays of my Gimmick Puppet Exceeds a lot. Like Black Horn of Heaven is a card, Solemn Warning is a card. There are too many counter traps out there to stop summons, and I was going into too many Gimmick Puppets that I could not get my rank 9s out, and I ran out of plays. And I couldn't stop it. That's another reason why the Gear Springs were put in here, is because I ran out of so many Gimmick Puppet plays, I just had no other option. And at that point, when you run out of options, the deck's pretty much dead. If they stop your XCs, you're done. Now, moving on, we have the two Strings, two Dark Strings, still sticking with one Giant Hunter, because you really don't go into him that much. One Leo, one Disaster Leo for the win conditions, one Beals, one Star Eater, and to replace Black Rose, we have Gigantic Castle. Gigantic Castle is a level 9, so he's easy to bring out with any of your level 8s and Effect Veiler. In case you can't get off any Exceed plays and you have Veiler in hand, you could summon out Gimmick Puppet Druid Doll or something like that. What he does is every non-tuner monster used to synchro summon him, he gains 200 attack and defense. So basically, automatically, you will have a 3100 attack monster coming out. And if you have Trapstone on the field and they have Mirror Force or Bottomless, you'll still be able to bring him out and use him. So basically, he's just a good punch. If you can punch your opponent for 1 or 2 turns with 3100, your game is pretty much set at that point. Alright guys, that's the updated deck for Gimmick Puppets. Let me know what you think of it. If you have any other suggestions for me, just add it in the comments, and I might actually test it a little bit, and I'll update it again, because this is a deck I really see coming up in regionals a lot more, and I want to see what you guys think about it. So yeah, this is Richard signing off.